Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we are taking a look at noises from AudioThing and Hainbach, collaboration between AudioThing and Hainbach. Noises is marvelous, creative texture instrument. Okay, so I'm going to go through the interface in some detail for you. Then I'm going to show you how to build your own presets and banks. Very, very, very cool stuff this is. So basically here we have our gain staging in, level and output gain, pitch per sample. You can load up to 8 samples and have them trigger on or off via this wheel here. If you watch as I move the wheel, it will scroll through these samples like that. See? And if we hover underneath, you can see you can control the volume and the pitch per sample. Okay, so you have this trip feature here. If I switch trip on, you'll see it will move the dial automatically between the samples. And if we have fuzzy turned all the way down, this travel will be smooth. And if it's on pendulum, it will just go from left to right. And we can slow the speed down here. We can have it tempo synced. Sorry, you'll see if I'm moving it now, you've got half dotted, quarter. Or you can have it just free running, and then you can control the phase here. At the moment, the initial time you switch this on, right, this is what's going to happen. It'll load this patch, and if you move your volume up, this is what you're going to get. And I'm pretty sure trip is probably switched off, so it's going to go from here all the way up to there. So you just move it manually by hand. Switch trip on, it's automatic. Introduce fuzzy and you will get some jittering. Okay, if we switch our filter on, we can introduce some filter cutoff and resonance to the actual modulation of the trip. If we switch to random, the fuzziness will still apply, but the tripping will be random. We have different filter types. Cutoff and resonance we've dealt with. We have a bit crusher. And then we have routing. So let's switch crusher on. We can choose filter into crusher, crusher into filter, filter crusher, crusher filter. Okay. I'm going to switch this to host, and now it's going to wait for me to press the AUM transport. You can control the pitch here. Double click to reset, or you can control the pitch per sample here, as I did say at the beginning. We can turn off any of these. So let's turn off 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2. And now we're just, let's switch off the fuzziness and the pendulum, back to pendulum. Now we're just swinging between sample 1 and sample 8. We could add in number 5 here, and that will blend that in as well. Very cool. And you can also introduce the trippy fuzziness as well. Okay. So the other thing you can do, if I press this, I have got this hooked up to a, let me just switch these back on for a moment. Switch the fuzziness off and engage this. If I've got my MIDI keyboard connected, I can control the pitch via MIDI. So if I switch trigger off, have it free running, I can play it like a... And you can watch up here as I'm playing different notes on a MIDI keyboard. And I think it defaults to something like C4. So lots of ways to trigger it. You can trigger it just free running with the host, have it free running and trigger it with a MIDI keyboard. All right, so that's the basics of what's going on here, okay? It comes with, if we, right, there's a difference between, let me just stop this a sec. There's an important difference between presets and filter banks. Presets basically use any filter bank that's in here and remember all the controls. However, you can change the bank and keep the preset controls, okay? So this is important to remember, and you'll see what I mean when we start to make our own patch shortly. Okay, you don't need to make your own patches, of course. Now, it downloads at 60 megabytes, and I think the full size may be about 1.5 gigs because it gives you the option to download. If we go in here, download banks. These are the banks that these are all downloaded, by the way. I can delete any of them. So there are all these different banks, and each of these banks contain different samples that Hainbach has recorded with his machines, with his cool stuff, with his synths, even outside and stuff, you know. So there's all this cool stuff going on, right? But when you initially get it, you don't get all the banks. You get one bank, I think, which is this filter bank, and then you can choose to download the other banks. You can download, I downloaded all of them. I think they're great. So for instance, this initial preset, if this is playing and I change bank, all these controls are going to stay identical, right? So if I switch them all back on now, but if I do this, if I go, right, okay, I'm going to mess this up a bit now. I'm going to go this, and it's going to ask me to save a new preset. I'm going to call this, I'm just going to call it random wires, okay? Just for fun. And go save. If I change my bank now, any preset, any bank I use will still retain the performance controls that you set for the preset. But if I go to say, oh, random wires, it's going to go back to my noise denoise bank that I selected for that particular preset. Okay, and you'll see also, you'll notice they are in my user presets now. So we can go factory, user. And this is one I created yesterday. Lovely. And I just called it Tibet because it was just a bunch of clangy bell type metallic sounds that I imported. Right, okay. We shall proceed. Right, before we get into anything else, I'll just stop that. Now I'm going to show you how to make your own banks. Let me just stop this. I'll go into host so we can stop and start it. Now, this little minus here, okay, this is if I want to delete that. If I tap on it, do I want to delete that bank? No, I'll just tap outside. This is add a new bank. Click on it and you'll see here. Now you can go into any bank you like, right? For instance, let's just cancel this for a moment. Let's go into one of the factory ones, just give you a quick idea. So if we go into this little icon here, this takes us into what's going on in all the sample slots. we can change out any of these samples, or we can play them, see what they're doing. We can change out any of the sample slots, but we must then either save our new bank as something, or you'll overwrite your Soviet tape, and choose a new preset for it. Okay, so let's cancel this, shall we? So let us go plus custom bank. We won't need to call it anything for the moment, so let's not. But now we're going to build our own custom bank. So let's tap this little arrow here. Okay, and we can go to, I'll go to audio share. I'll go into maybe binaural samples. I'm going to choose BA Garden 1, and that'll appear there. And if I play it, there's the sample. I'm going to load this one now and go to it. You do have to keep going backwards and forwards, so you know, there you go. I'm going to load that one in the second slot there. I'm going to go to my third one here. Let's go to supermarket samples, see what's in here. I'm going to load that one in there. Going to go again, binaural samples. I'll load that one in this one. These are all recordings that Joe made. Oh, and by the way, if you're a patron, you've got access to all of these samples and things. And let's go with maybe number 4. Let's download this one and go to audio share again. Maybe we'll put number 6 in there. Let's just do the last 3, shall we? Put that one in, I guess. Oh no, I'll delete that one. Actually, I'll just overwrite it. You can delete it or overwrite it, doesn't matter. See what we've got going on in here. We'll put number 8 in there. Okay, so we'll just leave this at 6 samples, but we could put another 2 in, or we can choose a sample from anywhere we like. You know, you don't have to. You can put like a completely different type of sample in. It's absolutely fine. Right, so I am going to call this, just for fun, I will call it gardens. Okay, it's not really anything to do with a garden, but then I'm going to hit save. Soundscapes volume 2. Right, now you might be thinking that's not what I've just done. Right, it's not. But if I open this up now, you'll see that I can go and find my gardens here. And if I open that up, you'll see it's the one that we've had. Okay, so I can cancel that. We know this is right. Let's engage I think we had 6 samples, didn't we? So we can switch number 8 off. And now if we play our host, let's switch host. Oh, right. I'm going to set this up to be played by the host. I'm going to increase the output gain and the level. Set this to go to trip, pendulum, low pass, slow it down. I think we'll have it. So these are those binaural samples that I just imported, that Joe's recorded. So when you're happy, that would be about the normal volume. What you now do is click on this and then save the preset name. So I'm going to call this binaural gardens. Okay, save. So now when I go to a different preset like random wires, we've got this going on. Let's go back to binaural gardens. And now we're back to this one. Now, of course, at any time, you can go, right, well, okay, maybe I'll make some adjustments to the volume and mix of some of them. You can do that here, of course. Or let's put it up to normal. Awesome stuff, eh? Now you're hearing more of what the samples originally were. So I like that better. In fact, how awesome is that, eh? Woohoo. So now I'm going to overwrite this patch. And it's done. But with these settings now, I could change the bank. Or just reset it by tapping on the preset again. Okay. Joe walking around Asda with all these, with the recording stuff, making all these binaural samples. Oh dear. Right. Okay. So anyway, now you're getting the idea. It's very cool. We're going to make some banks. Right. Okay. So you can have as many of these as you like. Obviously, it's audio AUV3. I'm losing the plot here. Right. So let's do this. Let's do something very cool before we do this. I did this earlier and it sounds absolutely fab. I'm going to go to my Tibet patch. I'm going to set it to play for host, and there we go. It's all these just clingy clangy sounds, right? Now, some of those samples, them supermarket samples, they're mega long, so I don't know what the sample limit is for important noises, but it's not really short or anything like that. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put in, I'm going to find springs, okay? Springs. Okay, which is AudioThing's Springs app. Spring Reverb app. Well, it's a bit more than that, but there you go. I'm going to put in ambience for starters here. Just let me play this. Get it going. Now you see. It's lovely. So you can add in all these cool effects as well. And noises is just so creative, you know. Now, you might listen, you might hear, if I go back to free running here and switch trigger off, I've got my MIDI keyboard. Right. Okay. Top job, cool beans. Let's take out springs and let's make some more cool patches. Now, what I should have done earlier was go back to my factory preset and hit init, right? And then I'm going to hit plus here for a new bang. All right. So what that does is it kind of just resets the actual, you know, let me just save this a sec, right? So we've got a completely empty bang. You'll see that all of these now are set, pitch is all set central for all of these. This is pitch is set central. We've got filter turned off, cutoffs open, resonance is halfway. Trip is turned off, and we've still got our 8 slots are all switched on, but our bank is empty because it's a, right now we're gonna have to go with custom. I don't know what even that is, but let's just do this. So custom bank, we're going to go with samples. I'm going to enter the sample thing, go to audio share and look for some samples that we can import. Now we've got tons of stuff we could do that's going to be really, really cool. I want to try and find this where my, there we go, these. We'll start with these 5 ambient patches. Now guys, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to hit 1 here and it's going to load it in here. So what I'll probably do is I'll load these 5 patches up. I'll cut here and come back, okay? Because otherwise, you know, we're going to be here all day. We'll make just loading patches. Okie dokie. Back shortly. Okay, so here we are. I've loaded in the 5 texture pads. Didn't take long, but it's still a waste of your time. And we will name this texture. Oops, not texture ambience. I need to learn to spell dog. Ambience. Now you can write, if you want to, you can write little descriptions or import some photos and things if you want. But I mean, for my purposes and probably for yours, it would not be necessary. Although you can export your banks and presets and stuff like that as well. Okay. Save. We're going to save this, and now we could go in here, look for our textured ambience. So don't forget, it might default to another one and you think, oh, where's that gone? Right, so just let's get the level at a bit lower because you don't know how loud this is going to be initially. I'm going to set this to host. And now I can turn it, does these, nothing here, right? So I can switch them off. So the last point will be number 5, turn that off. So number 2 here sounds a little bit too loud to me. That could do with well, actually, that's fine. So these are all fine. Now we can start but let's put it onto random as well. Leads a crusher. Let's increase the level and the output gain. Now I'm gonna play this with the MIDI keyboard a sec. Let me just switch off trip for a moment. This is like a normal ADSR now. It's so cool. Let's just switch it back to host and play it. Now I haven't given this a name yet, so texture ambient is what I'd call a bang. let's call this variant, just for something to call it. Got to give it a name. And now all these two are now locked together. Oh, it's awesome, isn't it? Isn't it just really so very cool? So these are some of the factory presets. But like I said, you can go and customize. Oh, also as well, you see you've got only 2 patches playing there. But if you go in here, you'll see that this is all completely filled up. So you can, of course, just add some new stuff right in there. Don't forget to play around with the stuff. We're going to build another patch because it's fun. Okay, so let's lock this into the host and stop it. Again, I'm just going to go to init. I'm going to go plus here, custom sound bank, and let's try and find something good. Now, I'm a big fan of, you know, Les Productions Zvon Daniel's work and in collating all this very old school movie stuff. So I think what might be good, I've got tons of cool stuff in here, is, where is it? Here it is, number 13. I've been playing with this. Is so cool. I love this. But we'll go with speech mail. Okay. And there's some, I don't even know. I'm just going to pick one, right? Okay. So this will go into there and I'll just. Will. Okay. So that's fine. That'll probably trigger. Okay. Let's go into another one now. Go and find, let's go down to the bottom. It's all in there. And number 13, there's some effects in here. So let's try an effect. That's going to be like a knocking. Okay. Now, I'm honest, guys, I have no idea how this is going to sound. I just want to give you an idea that you can just go and search through all this really cool stuff that you've probably got stashed on your hard drive or on your iPad somewhere. Let's see, speech female, just for fun. We'll try this one. We'll go down to another one. Let's see, let's go and open up some music. Okay, let's just leave that at 4 because otherwise we'll be, and I'm just going to call this Zvon. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to save it, and it'll just save my new bank, and I'll just go and find it now as Zvon. Right, now I know that I've only got 4 samples loaded in there. So, are you all right, darling?
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
Anything to say, have you?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Okay, so these are Daniel's. So what we're going to do is, again, we'll sync this to the host. We'll have it play. We'll make sure Trip is turned off. So there's that first sample we put in. There's the knock. And there's the music. Now. Music is definitely too loud, so let's see what trip we do. So I think what might be nice is if we'll take number 1 and we'll change this out. We'll go to audio share. we'll change this out to another music one. Okay. All right, and we'll add in another sample here. Let's go to audio shade again, and look, what's this? Horror samples, horror music, horror effects, hybrid horror. Don't know what that'll be, but let's put one in anyway, just for fun. Now you must be beginning to see now where this is all going to start. So we've got 5 in there now. Let's put in one more, shall we? Let's see. Let's go down to maybe number 11. Effects. This is still more to Daniels. Do this one. Yeah, let's just do more while we're here, just for fun, just because we can. I just want to go back to number 13 here. I'll go speech mail again, and this time look for something that might be a little more, you know, more going on sort of thing. Oh, we'll do this one. And last but not least in our sample slots, let's have in maybe some more of the kind of music stuff from here. What's going on in this one like that? Right, music. Okay, just go down here and boink that in. And so now we've got this complete thing, and I've called it Zvon. I'll leave it at Zvon. I will hit save, and that bank is now saved. Now let's turn on all of the sample slots, because we know that if we go in here, we've got them all turned on. Great stuff. And let's switch off Trip for a moment, and let's go to free. I'm playing these with my keyboard now, so let's see. So C4 on your keyboard is going to be the original sample pitch. Okay, let's go to number 2. Still our knocking sound. More music. I think that was probably an effect.
I can only find peace.
Oh.
If a silver bullet is...
It's fire.
The light. They stay down near the bottom during the day. Can't stand the light.
More music, which is a bit loud, so I'll back that off a little bit. Now let's trip it up and have it go with the host and trigger on.
Down near the bottom during the day. The light. They stay down near the bottom during the day. Can't stand the light. They stay down.
If a silver bullet...
Down near the bottom during the day. Can't stand the light. Stay down near the bottom during the day. Can't stand the light.
Pendulum.
The bottom during the day. The light. Down near the bottom during the day. Can't stand the light. They stay down.
If a silver bullet...
And I need to name my patch as Zvon Silver Bullet. Save.
Who loves you enough?
How cool. And this is the... Anytime you like, of course, you can say, oh, I'll drop a couple of these out, and it'll just track between the ones that you've got hot switched on. And then you could say, call that another patch, or, you know, you can maybe mess around with the pitch. I'm gonna call this Silver Bullet 2. Save, and now I've got my 2. my variants one, my Tibet one. And then, of course, we can then start to say, well, let's add, I mean, now we could add in, let's just turn the volume down for that little bit. We could add in another one, something hardware input, is it done? We could add in an audio unit because you add in another noises. And of course, it will default to its initial patch, which as we know is this one, analog feedback and it. But now we can go and go, right, okay, what's it? Well, let's go, see, it all remembers everything. Let's go to binaural gardens. And let's put in wires. There it is. Make a few adjustments here. Textures. Brilliant noises is brilliant. These are your parameters that are exposed. In case you want to use other LFO modulation. Let's go to a factory bank. Awesome. So there you go. Noises. Excellent stuff. I'm sure most, especially people into experimental music, will absolutely love this. Let me just set this up, this one, and I'm going to play through some factory patches for you while you say ta-ra to each other. Bless you all. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching this on a premiere, thanks for watching. If you're still here, brilliant. If you're watching this at any other time, thank you also for watching. Please subscribe, strike the like. Please consider a super thanks or a super chat. Super stickers, super chat. That really helped me and Joe out here at Sound Test Room. Anyway, top job, cool beans. Guys, I will see you later. Ta-da! Noises by AudioThing and Hainbach.